Americans are waking up this morning to complete economic turmoil in Washington, D.C., as new job numbers released this morning show an economy in decline, an economy that is in a major slowdown period. We learned this morning that in the month of August, the United States economy gained 22,000 jobs. That's not a lot. Economists had predicted that the economy would gain more than 76,000 jobs. That's a 50,000 job delta right there. But what's worse, you look back at June and July, and new revisions show that the United States economy actually lost more than 20,000 jobs in that period of time. Let that sink in. More than 20,000 jobs lost in June and July, only 22,000 added in August. When you look at comparisons over the past 3 months, the United States economy only added about 1,000 new jobs. That shows an economy in serious decline. And it's the first job report numbers that have come out from the Bureau of Labor Statistics since last month, when Donald Trump fired the head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics, alleging that she was essentially cooking the books and releasing false job numbers. This is the slowest 4-month stretch of growth since 2020, the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. Meanwhile, ADP reported that U.S. private sector hiring slowed sharply in August, with only 54,000 new jobs added, again, well below the 75,000 job numbers expected and well below the 106,000 jobs added in July. Let that sink in for a second. This job market is very bad. I've heard from a lot of friends, a lot of colleagues who have said that they have been unable to get a job, unable to even get an interview after applying for thousands and thousands of roles, because no one is hiring right now. Everyone is concerned when it comes to tariffs, when it comes to the Trump administration's economic policy as a whole. Employers are scared and they're not hiring. And what that means is when you're not hiring and you don't have enough jobs and you have more people who are unemployed than there are jobs, then the economy will slow down and we will near a recession. And it's only going to get worse. Now, the Federal Reserve is almost forced to cut interest rates in September and possibly again in October. The reason they haven't cut the interest rates yet, well, that's because of tariffs, because inflation is still relatively high. And if you cut rates now, you risk inflation going wild. So the economy right now is in a bad place. Before I continue, please consider subscribing to support my work or sending a one-time donation via Venmo to Aaron-Parnas. With CBS's possible or Paramount's possible acquisition of Barry Weiss's The Free Press, right now more than ever, independence is not cheap, and independence is very hard to stay independent. And I promise you I will. That's my goal. I'm not trying to get acquired by mainstream media. I'm here to provide you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but it. Howard Lutnick, who's the Commerce Secretary this morning, expressed optimism about the outlook of America's economy, saying that the job numbers will get better because you'll take out the people who are just trying to create noise against the president, and predicting that this is going to be the greatest growth economy 6 months from now, a year from today. Here's the thing, folks. Right now, Americans are feeling it. It's very hard for Americans to set aside money to buy Christmas gifts, to buy more items that aren't necessities, essentially. And when that happens, businesses start to go out of business because many of these goods that you typically would want to buy, well, they're not being bought anymore because Americans are hoarding their money more. There are so many secondary and tertiary effects from today's job numbers. All in all, it's bad news. It's bad news. Meanwhile, Donald Trump today is set to sign an executive order rebranding the Pentagon as the Department of War, designated it a secondary title to bypass Congress while directing agencies to use the new name. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and others will be allowed to use Secretary of War, with the White House framing the change as a symbolic push to project military aggression. This is coming from the pro-peace president, in his own words. Remember, Donald Trump likes to say that he has solved anywhere from 6 to 7 to 10 wars, depending on the day. He ran on a pro-peace mindset, and now he is renaming the Department of Defense to the Department of War. Health Secretary RFK Jr. has suggested that Biden-era rules expanding access to abortion pills like mifepristone could be rolled back, claiming without evidence that the previous administration, quote, twisted the data to hide safety risks, despite decades of research showing that the drugs are safe and effective. Mifepristone accounted for nearly 2/3 of all abortions in the year of 2023. And now it looks like the Secretary of Health and Human Services may seek to roll it back. An appellate court has allowed the controversial Alligator Alcatraz Immigration Detention Center in Florida's Everglades to remain open, putting on hold a federal judge's order to shut it down over the abuses due to due process violations and environmental harm. The $250 million facility, which was built by Governor Ron DeSantis to aid Donald Trump's deportation push, has been condemned for harsh conditions, but has been praised by the Trump White House. And although it's scheduled to stay open now for a little longer, the DeSantis administration is still working to remove detainees actually from the facility to another ICE facility in Florida, because ultimately the Alligator Alcatraz facility is going to close. Trump's deployment of 2,000 National Guard troops and 700 Marines to Los Angeles cost taxpayers nearly $120 million, according to Governor Gavin Newsom, who condemned it as waste, fraud, and abuse. Boston is now bracing for a possible federal immigration enforcement surge after reports that the administration is preparing an immigration enforcement blitz, intensifying tensions between Donald Trump and Boston Mayor Michelle Wu, who has strongly defended the city's sanctuary policies. Trump advisor Steve Witkoff has discussed offering New York City Mayor Eric Adams the ambassadorship to Saudi Arabia in hopes of persuading him to drop his re-election bid, potentially clearing the way for Andrew Cuomo's candidacy. The White House wants to stop Zohran Mamdani and is working essentially with Adams and now Cuomo to possibly block Mamdani's victory. But I will tell you this, even if Adams drops and it's a head-to-head between Cuomo and Mamdani, I predict a Mamdani victory nonetheless. Tesla's board has proposed a new pay package that can make Elon Musk the world's first trillionaire. Donald Trump last night hosted executives at the White House to highlight artificial intelligence research. A notable absent, though, Elon Musk was not there. Trump has grown more pessimistic about the prospect of ending the Russia-Ukraine war in recent days, as earlier peace efforts have stalled once again. Meanwhile, Vladimir Putin warned that any Western troops sent to Ukraine would be treated as, quote, legitimate targets for destruction. An Israeli strike in the Al-Maswi region in Gaza, which is an area designated as a humanitarian safe zone, killed at least 13 people, including 7 children, as they collected water. A new ultrasound helmet developed by researchers at Oxford and UCL can non-invasively target tiny brain regions with unprecedented precision, offering a potentially alternative to deep brain stimulation for Parkinson's disease. So big medical research news. That's the news right now. If you want to support my work, make sure to subscribe today, and I'll see you this evening.
Hey folks, Aaron Parnas here. Thank you so much for watching The Parnas Perspective. Please consider subscribing to support our work as we grow this independent news media entity into something that rivals mainstream every single day. Thanks so much, and I'll see you soon.